His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa was at the forefront to receive the UAE President, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, upon his arrival in the country on a visit to the Kingdom of Bahrain. Also present at the reception were the personal representative of His Majesty the King, His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the First Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, Chairman of the General Sports Authority and President of Bahrain Olympic Committee, His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa, and senior officials. His Majesty the King and His Highness the UAE President then headed to Khir Palace. His Highness the UAE President was accompanied by the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Interior, His Highness Sheikh Saif bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the Deputy Chairman of the Presidential Court for Development and Fallen Heroes Affairs, His Highness Sheikh Diya bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the Deputy Chairman of the Presidential Court for Special Affairs, His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the Advisor to the UAE President, Sheikh Mohammed bin Hamad bin Tahnoon Al Nahyan, the Secretary General of the Supreme Council for National Security, Ali bin Hamad Al Shamsi, the Chairman of the President's Office for Strategic Affairs and Chairman of the Abu Dhabi Executive Office, Dr. Ahmed Mbarak Al Mazrou'i, the Minister of Industry and Advanced Technology, Dr. Sultan bin Ahmed Sultan Al Jaber, the Advisor to the UAE President for Strategic Research and Advanced Technology Affairs, Faisal Abdul Aziz Al Bannai, the UAE Ambassador to Bahrain, Fahad Al Amri, and senior officials. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa held a meeting with the UAE President, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan at Khir Palace in the presence of their Highnesses, the sons of His Majesty, and a number of senior officials from both sides. His Majesty welcomed His Highness and reviewed with him various aspects of the close and long-standing fraternal relations, as well as ways to support and develop bilateral cooperation, mutual coordination, and constructive joint action in the interest of both countries. They affirmed their pride in the fraternal ties that bind the two countries and their peoples. The two sides discussed the latest developments in the region following the recent Israeli attack on Qatar and expressed Bahrain and the UAE's condemnation of the Israeli attack as a violation of Qatar's national sovereignty and the principles of international law. They declared their full solidarity with Qatar in all steps it takes to protect its security, sovereignty, and the safety of its citizens and residents, and called for calm and an end to escalation to preserve regional peace and security. His Majesty and His Highness also discussed a number of regional and international issues and developments of mutual interest and exchanged views on them, particularly the latest developments in the Middle East, including developments in the occupied Palestinian territories. They affirmed the two countries' unwavering position in support of the rights of the brotherly Palestinian people and the importance of working to consolidate stability, security, and regional peace by establishing a clear path to a lasting, comprehensive, and just peace based on the two-state solution as the only way to achieve stability in the region in the interest of its peoples and countries. At the conclusion of the meeting, His Majesty and His Highness affirmed their keenness to continue fraternal consultation and joint coordination, especially in light of developments and events taking place in the region. His Majesty the King hosted a lunch banquet in honor of the UAE President and his accompanying delegation on the occasion of His Highness's visit to the Kingdom. The banquet was attended by Their Highnesses, the sons of His Majesty the King, and a number of senior officials from both sides. During the banquet, His Majesty the King and His Highness the UAE President exchanged friendly and cordial talks that reflected the close relations between the two countries, their strong historical ties, and their mutual keenness to continue strengthening these ties for the benefit of their peoples. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa was at the forefront to bid farewell to the UAE President, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, following a visit to the Kingdom of Bahrain. Their Highnesses, the sons of His Majesty the King, and a number of senior officials were also present. The Kingdom of Bahrain shares close historical and distinguished relations with the UAE, deriving their strength and prosperity from the friendly ties between the leaderships and peoples of the two countries. More in this report.
The relations between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates go back many decades, characterized by unity and cooperation across all areas. These ties have grown and developed thanks to the shared principles and common visions set by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and the President of the UAE, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. The Bahraini-Emirati relationship is unique, built on foundations of goodwill and partnership between the leaderships and the peoples of the two countries. Its foundations were laid by the forefathers on values of goodwill and mutual respect. Today, Bahrain and the UAE remain at the forefront of efforts to achieve security and prosperity for their peoples and to enhance their role in the Arab and regional domains. Official visits between the two countries reflect their commitment to deepening and expanding cooperation in all fields. Their relationship is a great example of brotherhood and friendship in the Gulf and the Arab world, showing strong cooperation in maintaining peace and security both regionally and globally. These relations carry great importance given the political influence and strategic locations of both Bahrain and the UAE, regionally and internationally. Both countries follow a balanced and moderate foreign policy, steadily reaffirmed by His Majesty the King and His Highness the President of the UAE. Their approach makes them a leading example in the region for democracy, human rights, and ambitious policies of reform, development, modernization, and the consolidation of institutions and the rule of law.
To speak more about this, we have the chief correspondent from Gulf Daily News, Mohammed Al-Ali, who gave us this statement.
This historic visit is more than a diplomatic protocol. It's a reaffirmation of the deeply rooted ties that unite Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates. Ties that are built on brotherhood, shared history, and a common vision for the future of our region. Both nations have stood shoulder to shoulder in matters of regional stability, economic cooperation, and cultural exchange. The visit today reflects a renewed commitment to these values and sends a powerful message that Bahrain and the UAE are stronger together. The UAE is one of Bahrain's closest economic partners, with bilateral trade reaching record levels in recent years, and joint ventures setting an example for Gulf cooperation at large. But beyond numbers and agreements, this visit carries a human dimension. It celebrates the ties between our people, families, students, entrepreneurs, and professionals who move freely between Bahrain and the UAE, contributing to each other's growth and prosperity. Bahrain and the UAE are charting a path forward together, a path defined by stability, prosperity, and unity.
يا دار كل الطيب يا شمسة وفية من دار زايد جيت شايل غلا داري مشتاق والبحرين تستاهل الجاية يا مرحبا بقلوب فيها الغلا زايد واللي لفها مشتاق يا حيا يا حيا يا عيال زايد نحن تاريخنا واحد اخوة واخوتنا على الحب مبنية يا دار مسلمة ما عليكم زار كل الطيب يا شمسة وفيا من دار زايد شايل غداري مشتاق
The representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs and Chairman of Babka Energies, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, attended the inauguration of Asri's solar energy project, the largest of its kind in the world in the ship repair and shipbuilding sector, in partnership with Kano Clean Max Renewables, in the presence of ministers and senior officials. His Highness affirmed that Asri's solar energy project embodies the vision of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa in the march of progress and prosperity, and translates His Majesty's directives to build a future based on sustainability and innovation. He noted that the project receives the continuous support of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa of pioneering initiatives in environmental innovation and the transition to clean energy. His Highness said the project affirms Bahrain's status among the leading countries in applying advanced renewable energy technologies and showcases the kingdom's efforts in creating a sustainable working environment that encourages innovation and strengthens the green economy. His Highness expressed pride and appreciation for the project, which demonstrates the ability of national institutions to adopt innovative ideas and transform them into practical initiatives that promote resource sustainability and protect the environment to ensure a brighter future for coming generations. The chairman of ASRI, Ayman Al-Muayyad, said that the project is an environmental and strategic investment that signals ASRI's firm resolve to support national efforts to achieve net zero carbon neutrality and promote energy efficiency. ASRI CEO Dr. Ahmed Al-Abri said that ASRI believes that environmental responsibility is an integral part of their corporate strategy, noting their keenness to launch practical initiatives supporting the green transition adopted by Bahrain.
In implementing the best advanced renewable energy technologies, Bahrain affirms its solid position in the transition towards building a future based on sustainability and innovation. The inauguration of the largest dry dock solar energy project by the Arab shipbuilding and repair yard company ASRI reflects Bahrain's systematic efforts to support national institutions in adopting innovative ideas and transforming them into practical initiatives that enhance resource sustainability and environmental protection. ASRI's solar project is an environmental and strategic investment embodying the company's commitment to achieving carbon neutrality and enhancing energy efficiency by combining its leadership in the industrial marine services sector with green innovation. This enhances its role as a leading and responsible company on both the environmental and economic levels. This project undoubtedly strengthens ASRI's position as a leading maritime destination in the region and a national institution contributing to building a more sustainable future for future generations, in line with Bahrain's aspirations for a sustainable green economy.
The Minister of Housing and Urban Planning, Amna Ramehi, signed an agreement on the Executive Program in Housing and Urban Planning with the Minister of Public Works and Housing and Chairman of the Board of Directors of the General Corporation for Housing and Urban Development in Jordan, Engineer Maher Hamdi Tawfiq. The agreement stipulates strengthening bilateral cooperation, exchanging experiences in the housing and urban planning sectors, exchanging knowledge in the real estate market regulation, and the involvement of the private sector in providing social housing projects. Ramehi affirmed that the agreement will contribute to strengthening bilateral cooperation and the exchange of expertise, as well as benefiting from Jordan's leading experience in the housing sector. In the presence of the Minister of Education, Dr. Mohammed bin Mubarak Jum'a, the CEO of the Saudi Fund for Development, Sultan bin Abdul Rahman Al Murshid, and the President of the Arabian Gulf University, Dr. Saad bin Saud Al Faid, signed an MOU for the financing of the King Abdullah bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud Hospital project at the Arabian Gulf University in Bahrain. The project's value exceeds $11.5 million as part of the grant from Saudi Arabia through the fund to finance the construction of King Abdullah bin Abdul Aziz Medical City at a cost of 1 billion riyals. The project aims to provide an information technology system and supply non-medical furniture to the hospital to ensure the integrated operation of the medical city and raise its operational efficiency. The project also stems from the fund's belief in the importance of the health sector as a key pillar of sustainable development, contributing to the integration of other vital and development sectors. The special advisor to the custodian of the two holy mosques, chairman of the King Abdulaziz Foundation for Research and Archives, and chairman of the board of trustees of the King Fahd National Library, His Royal Highness Prince Faisal bin Salman bin Abdulaziz, visited the Sheikh Ibrahim bin Mohammed Al Khalifa Center for Culture and Research. His Royal Highness was received by the chairperson of the board of trustees of the center, Sheikh Hamay bin Mohammed Al Khalifa, and a number of officials. His Royal Highness was briefed on the center's collection of authentic Bahraini heritage, as well as its activities in various cultural events and its most important publications. He expressed admiration of the National Center, emphasizing the importance of cooperation between the two brotherly countries and contributing to the development of the cultural sector, wishing all those in charge of it continued success. His Royal Highness Prince Faisal bin Salman bin Abdulaziz also visited Darat Muhammad Jabir al-Ansari for Thought and Culture, which documents the profound intellectual journey of the late Dr. Muhammad Jabir al-Ansari, one of the most prominent figures of thought and culture in the Arab world. His Royal Highness was received by the founding member of the Dara, Hala Muhammad Jabir al-Ansari, and a number of officials as part of His Royal Highness's visit to the kingdom. His Royal Highness reviewed the major milestones in Dr. al-Ansari's life and his contributions to political thought and the Arab development, which have become an important reference in contemporary Arabic literature. He praised Dr. al-Ansari's intellectual legacy and his books and publications, which contribute to reviving Bahraini and Arab cultural memory. The Ministry of Interior announced that the General Directorate of Reformation and Rehabilitation, in cooperation with the General Secretariat of the Higher Education Council, organized admission tests for inmates wishing to continue their university education. This is done in accordance with approved academic procedures and under the supervision of Bahrain Polytechnic University. The Director General of Reformation and Rehabilitation, Colonel Adnan Jum'a Bahar, emphasized that these measures are part of a series of educational and training programs aimed at supporting inmates. He noted that the Directorate is keen to provide all means that enable them to obtain university qualifications that develop their abilities and enhance their opportunities for integration into society. A delegation from the National Institution for Human Rights and the Ombudsman Office visited the Correctional and Rehabilitation Center for Inmates to review the progress of the tests and the conditions of the participating inmates. They praised the efforts of the ministry and its continued support in enabling inmates to pursue higher education.
We are going to conduct for English and mathematics two separate sections to admit the people, those who are here in the prison, for the specialized major for ICT and then engineering and then logistic, all the courses, even in the business. Here they are arranged very well for the entrance examination, especially for the colonels and supportive staff members. They are working hard to conduct this exam, this entrance exam, for giving the rights to study for the higher educations. We are really very happy, and then we are expecting more students from here to learn higher education for their rights to study the higher education in Bahrain. This is very good initiative taken from Bahrain Polytechnic and then the Ministry of Interior. So it is our sincere thanks to Ministry of Interior and those who are working here to conduct this exam.